Okay, I think we are good to start. Hello, everybody. And how are we all doing today? I hope you're all doing good, because I'm tired, but I'm good. I'm tired, but I'm good. That's how I feel. Changing of the seasons. It's getting darker out. We're still staying busy. I am making it through day by day. What's up, Manchester? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, it has been a bit since you've been here, I think. No, you were here last stream. There's so many people that come through here, I honestly forget who shows up half the time. I try my best to remember, but we'll move over to here. Okay. What do I want to paint tonight? I don't know. I have choices, is how I feel. I have choices on what I can do. I can continue with the models I was painting last time. I don't think that would hurt. You know what? It's been far too long. I think I need to pull out some models I haven't worked on in a while. We're going to add something to my challenge. Nice to see you got some models finished. Scarab Terminators are the Thousand Suns model. I'm just trying to remember. I went against them once. Not a fun thing to go against off the top of my head. That was literally the first thing I had to fight against in my Crusade thing I'm doing. Oh, I had to fight a Thousand Suns player. Oh. Real quick. I went against a Thousand Suns player for my first match in that Crusade, and I lost really bad. But to stay focused, I think I'm going to continue now. It's been a minute. What I've decided I'll do is I'm going to continue doing my 1,000 points within 20 days. It has been a while since I've continued it. And let's see how many days we were on. I gotta go back. I should update the title to actually say what we're working on today, but I might just keep where we're at. Sorry, bear with me. I'm like having to go back. Am I blind? I'm blind. It's in one of my descriptions. Oh, no, here we go. I found where it started. God, I did 5 days. Okay, this is going to be day 8 of the challenge. Reason being is because I worked on some models that are in it. Yeah, because in the list, I think I added a Gladiator Lancer, and I have Big Jim in the list. And Big Jim is done, so he's a full day. I'm calling Big Jim done. I can do more in the future. So, that's what I'll do. We're going to continue the 1,000 points in 20 days, and we're at day 8. Last time I left off with this, I will talk to Chad in a moment. I'm just, like, trying to go through my head here. Last point I left off at, I was painting up these eliminators. What I do have completed is, well, I say completed, but they're at least battle ready. 2 5-man squads of assault intercessors I have completed. And what else? Oh, the Blade Guard Vets were the other thing. Which now I'm changing their color scheme to be veterans. I gotta do that on my own time and dates. But these guys are gonna look a little rough because I am trying to do this in a speedy fashion. A little bit. Yeah, so models I've left are these 3 Eliminators, 5-man squad of Terminators, a Terminator Captain, and I have a Gladiator Lancer that I gotta finish. And if we got to, I think if I remember correctly, if we got to, was it 300 or 500, Hannibal, I said? Because Hannibal, you were here for that. Did I say if we got to 500 subs, I'd add a knight to the army? I think I did. I think it was 500. So yeah, if we got to 500 subscribers within the 20 days, we were adding a knight to the army. And no, if we get to 1,000, we're painting Lionel Johnson. Because I don't feel good enough in my skills to paint Lionel Johnson, the Primarch of the Dark Angels. But now I have 2 models of him. So, yeah. That's if we get to 1,000, but that's like pipe dream down the line. Yeah, I wish I dry brushed these guys a lot better. I did them all in gray dry brushing, and it's crappy. It's crappy dry brushing, I will admit, and all that. But I will over time make it look better. I'm doing a lot of speed paints right now, and then my plan, hopefully if I have time, my plan was to take actual acrylic paints and paint over it. Well, I appreciate you saying that. This has been this is where the chapter color scheme started. This is where the lore and the chapter stuff for my homebrew chapter started. And it's about time we continue it. Now, I was going to paint these guys in the orange and blue, but I've decided that First Company gets the black and blue color treatment. Gonna be a little tough, but well, this is a Captain Terminator armor, and I fix that. So actually, talking about these Eliminators, these were the first models I've ever bought and painted. I actually stripped and decided to repaint these models. Same thing with the Assault Intercessors. They're all my first models I've ever built and painted, and I know you really probably shouldn't strip them and repaint them, but I wanted to make them a part of something, to make them part of my army and all that stuff, to like actually have it be cohesive. So that's all that. Now, I'm going to go back after all my talking and actually read chat for a second. Hannibal, it is good to see you. I'm glad you're here for a little bit before you go off for the night. I'm glad to have you here. And going up for it, going up a little bit. Thousand Suns, it was, I never played against Thousand Suns before that game, so it was interesting to see what happened. He had a big chaos beast they named Rufus. Rufus was scary. And I'm trying to think what else. What else was being said? And Manchester, I'm glad you like the Eliminators and all that stuff. So, with that being said, after tonight, I gotta clean these brushes. It has been months. Maybe, I think that's what it might have been. I don't really remember that much about all the model and stuff. But yeah, it was a big beast with like a tentacle mouth and all that. I mean, I just got shake that up real well. Do I have? I do. Yeah, I know. Honestly, having a healthy sleep schedule is very important. I will admit, with this daylight savings time, it has screwed me. I am still set back to when it was nice and sunny out for our days, and now I'm like, why does it have to be dark at 5? Why couldn't we keep it so that 6 o'clock it was dark? At least for me, where I'm from. And I'm gonna just steal some of that. But I hope everyone watching is doing well, I will say. I hope everyone's happy and healthy. If they're not, at least doing something to help themselves, to be, I don't know, just do something that you want to do is what I would say. If you're not in the best moods of days, hopefully you're doing something that you can take some joy in. Well, there's a problem with next week, Hannibal, where I'm gone for like a whole week. So there's no streams next week. So there's that problem. But the week after, there'll be streams. Yeah, I'm going up to good old Canada. Yeah. So I honestly was thinking about streaming a lot more this week for you guys, but I wanted to spend at least a few days off stream doing things for stream. That makes sense? Like, I've been getting clips of like, oh, how you can do this and this for your streams. Like, I want to give chat the ability to throw things at my model. I actually want to make a new PNG model, and I also need to make a new mouse model because I lost the original mouse. So the one we see on screen, he is not there long in this world because I lost his original look. I am excited for my trip. I'm more nervous now than I was because like, oh crap, the trip is here. This is actually happening. I actually just grabbed my passport today and checked to make sure I was legally able to go. And yes, I'm able to go. My passport doesn't expire for a few more years. So I am good there. Definitely planning a few. At least talked with one of the people on the trip was messaging. He's like, hey, there's a couple like cool parks and stuff that I think we should like check out, and there's a couple other things that we can do here and there. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go. And I got my vehicle checked because we're gonna be taking my vehicle as the road trip vehicle, and it's got a clean bill of health, so it's good to go. So that is all excited, and I'm ready. I am ready for this trip. I'm a little sad, I will admit, because there's one friend that's not able to go because he didn't realize his passport expired. Like, it expired this summer, and of course we didn't make plans for the trip until like the end of summer. Oh no, I understand you meant nice, but also it's also good you're saying mice because we do have mice on stream. Which is sad. Like I really wanted that. I really want that friend to go, because I want it to make a bachelor's trip. Pretty much, that friend that's not able to go is getting married in January, and I really wanted to have him go. To have like one nice big hurrah with the lads and stuff before he was married and all that stuff, because the main guy I made the plans for the trip with, he lives in Austria for like 6 months out of the year. So, and he's not able to go to the wedding. So really wanted to have the two of them have like a good fun experience before all that. They do want to get together Friday, so I might meet up with them, and then I'll reach out to my friend that can't go to be like, yo, we're meeting up with the guys this day, just come down and hang out. Which I think it's good to do. I will say, if you can get yourself a group of friends that you can always hang out with, how do I want to say this? I have pretty much 2 buddies from high school that I've kept in constant contact with most of the time. One of them, it's off and on, but like I would consider him my best friend. Although that's even a little weird for me. I don't ever feel like I have a best friend, but I have 2 really good friends. Really, really, really good friends that I would call on for if I had a problem. They are the 2 I would call. And you gotta have friends like that in your life. You gotta have some friends that you're like, I'm in a pickle, or I need a dude to sit and listen to me talk about my problems. Like, I'm gonna call this guy up, and even if they don't pick up, they'll get back to me in a few days and make sure I'm okay. I do say one will call back. The other one, who's really hard to get a hold of, he's the one he'll call back in a few days. Usually if I'm like really feeling like I need to talk to him, he actually answers, and he has like, oh, I was just thinking about you as well. So it's just that weird little mental twinge, I'd say. But just in life, if you can get some like really good friends, some friends that you are always going to be able to trust to have your back and go through life with, those are the ones that you'll have the best memories with. I will say some of my favorite memories in my life involve those 2. Like, my favorite memories I think back with them is when I went to Ireland and I shared a hotel room with the 2 of them. And if I could, I would relive that week my entire life. I don't know if everyone understands what I was trying to say, but I hope my point came across. If you have some good friends, make sure you keep those friends in your life. Yeah, my friends are as well. I got 2 friends in Europe, and the rest are scattered across the US. And I miss all my friends every day. I wish we could keep being like our younger selves, always meeting every weekend, doing stuff like. You know, here's the benefit about having friends in other countries or other states. It gives you a reason to go out and travel and see them. If you go out there, be like, yo, I'm gonna reach out to this friend. You want to meet up like at like these months? And they're like, yeah, let's do it. I'm free like this month. And you're like, oh, cool, I'll schedule for that. You can schedule it and then do a trip. You can do it with a couple friends too. Like, yo, you guys want to go see like so and so? And they're like, yeah, let's go see so and so. And then all your schedules just kind of line up to do it. I've tried to become someone that has at least one good trip once a year. Like, it doesn't have to be a big trip, but like some sort of good excursion. All your friends live in Scotland for now. That's what you gotta say. They all live in Scotland for now. That can change sooner than you realize. Ah, nice, Hannibal. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I forget that you can actually like take a vehicle all the way to Norway. I forget that is something you can do. Because I thought Norway was pretty much like ocean locked, but I understand it's connected to a couple other countries. I'm not good at geography, so if I make any mistakes, please bear with me as a American that does not understand geography at all. I will say next year I'm planning on visiting Austria. I've been procrastinating for years to go and visit a friend that actually the same one I'm doing a Canadian road trip with. I would just say UK. I understand England, Scotland, and Wales are all their own. I want to say country, but I understand they're under one. They're all their own independent state, but I know they're united under the UK banner. That's how I'm wording it. I know it might not be correct. I know the only one that doesn't fit within there is Ireland, because Ireland is its own island, but it has the northern section is still a part of the UK, as the rest of it is its own country. I do remember that much. I should know because I've visited that country twice. Yes, I know the UK, or at least England, has forcibly added all of its neighbors to it. They even had a little bit of France for a while, too. Ooh. Okay. I am going to actually grab a specific paint before I do this. Do I actually have the paint I'm thinking of? I do have a... Okay. Cool. I wanted to try this. I want to take some pink paint and put it where I want the orange, and I want to see how vibrant it actually becomes. So I'm going to try that on all these orange bits of these guys, and then go from there. I want to pronounce it as Gibraltar? Is that correct? Is that how you pronounce it? Yes, we are here for Warhammer, but it doesn't mean we can't talk about other stuff. This is a multi-topic community. Honestly, some of my favorite things to talk about are like geography stuff, because I get to learn about all these countries. Yes, there's at least going to be one arts and crafts stream this week, so which is going to be Saturday, because today I was like arts and crafts or stuff. I've never seen Gibraltar. I feel like I'm messing it up. I've never seen it written out before, so that's why I was curious if that's how it's actually spelled. And when I get back, also, won't be at 7 on Saturday. It's going to be earlier because I got friends, my gaming friends that I haven't gamed with in like 2 weeks, about a week or so, maybe 2. They're all free Saturday, and they're like, we want to do a gaming session, and the evening is better. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll have to do a stream earlier in the day then. So if I can do my schedule right, I'd like to start at noon on Saturday, but I don't know how that'll go. I will say numbers, does not mean I'm able to stay true to it. That's why I left it blank. To be honest, I could have actually started at 6 today. No one has won yet. Honestly, I don't know if we'll continue that game. We probably should, but we only made it to turn 2 in all that time. If I have to guess who's going to win, I will put my money on the Black Legion just because of how much of a hard time I might have trying to deal with everything. And for those that are curious on what I'm talking about, I did a stream last week? Not last week. About 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, playing Warhammer on Tabletop Simulator against my friend Ben, who I've painted up his Chaos Black Legion models on here before. And I decided, hey, let's play Tabletop Simulator. Well, I asked him if you want to do TTS or if you want to play in person, and we went with online just to like test it out and play in the future with other people. And it was definitely fun. There was a lot of mistakes made. We were coached a lot by Paint Games in chat on how to do certain things, and I honestly think I made him frustrated because we didn't even know what we wanted to play to begin with. Ben really enjoys just fighting and shooting. He doesn't really like doing the point system, and I understand that. I like doing the points and trying to score and win the game. So, but I chose not to do the cards because I didn't want to really confuse them and deal with all that. So I decided we would run it as a Crusade game. So I found a Crusade mission in the Tyrannic War book, and we ran that. And the one we picked is pretty much, if the attacker scores the 3 objectives that are on Are you talking about the arrows pointing up, or are you asking like about a specific thing in general? I don't know what the arrows are for. Usually, I assume the arrows point up to the previous message, or they're just to show excitement. Not fully sure. I've never really wanted to go around to ask or all that. Everyone messages and just talks and chat different ways, so I don't really try to question it. I've seen some people do they don't message in emojis, they do the whole like type out, I don't want to call it ooh face, but they like do like the kawaii faces and stuff like that. I'm sure Hamill will message and like explain what that means. So, to explain why I'm painting this pink where I don't have pink on my color schemes, I've seen videos where people have put a yellow or a pink below and then use an orange speed paint on top, and that makes the orange way more brighter. Oh, that makes so much sense! Yeah. Okay. That's actually crossed my mind too. I was like, oh, maybe they're just excited and smiling. I like that. I like that a lot. See, everyone has a unique way of like messaging and just doing their own thing, and I love that. Yes, that's what I've heard. I'm gonna try doing the orange. I do have a yellow. The orange speed paint I have is called Nuclear Orange. I could do a different orange that would be a little bit brighter, or I can pull out my contrast paints that look a little bit orange-y. So I'm always here to experiment and try new things with my models and minis. Because if I stay stagnant and do the same thing over and over and over again, yeah, I get better at it. But maybe there is a better way of doing things. Maybe there is some way of making it look nicer and stuff like that. So I'm like, you know what? We're going to give it a try. Because, I mean, look at the orange on this guy compared to this. This is hit with a brighter orange underneath and then done with the orange contrast paint on top. And this is just a straight orange contrast paint with like nothing underneath it. So I wanted to make it as bright as possible. This brush has gotten split ends on me instantly. I must have used it previously. I need to follow the motto of always clean your brushes after you're done using them. Because that is not working to it. It is a very big difference. But it was a pain to get all of them to look like it was a pain to get that orange to begin with, and then, you know, go to the next. No! Why? Why'd you do this to me, man? You're a monster! I have a way of fixing it and making it so it won't fall off in the future. I can do this! So, I used to have a thing of wire here. Good night, Hannibal. Enjoy yourself. I got some paper clips here. I'm going to cut some pieces off and use it to pin this guy to his base so he doesn't fall off. And I got to do it to a few other things here and there, I think. this so I can actually do a quick open. How big is the paperclip compared to that? I can go smaller. Okay, what's the smallest I can go? I will test it by throwing a paperclip into it. This is the smallest. I need my smallest size. Pull out two and figure out which one I want. I think this is the size I want. Stay in there. I think the paperclip's a little bit bigger than that. Your night broke today. Well, can you go around and fix it? Is it an easy fix? Here we go. Oh my lord. Everything is falling on my hand. The magnets ripped each other out. That is tough. Could you, like, pin it and magnet it? Is that possible? Cool. That one is there. Being out of super glue and having it all, that is not easy. Okay, what I'm gonna do, because there's a little bit of plastic stuck to his foot. Well, if it's 1 a.m., then maybe you should get some sleep. There will always be more streams in the future. We're not having this conversation again on, you know, not being on your phone and then letting yourself sleep and stuff like that. I'm not doing it again. Put that in. How much more needs to be drilled to make them stay? happy to have you here and enjoy the stream. Do I drill more through? So that sits there. How much of the drill do I put in? How much of that is over his foot? It's going to be way through his foot. I'll do a little bit more. Oh, and yeah, that's what I feared. I feared I'd pop through, and I just popped through. I can hit that with paint, but and hide it. Okay, that's what I feared. Might have to take some green stuff and hide the hole. What I will do is I'll take this super glue and put it around the pin. And while that sits to dry, once it's dry, as much as I don't want to cut metal with these pliers, I think I will, just to get me the height that I'm looking for with set pliers, or with the pin. So, I guess we'll do you now. Unless you magically fall off as well. What, avoid using this handle? I like using this handle, though. I don't have to touch the model if I use the handle. I've not seen many Space Marines painted in pink before. Are there any successor chapters that have like pink as a prominent color? And I'm not counting purple. I mean, I know the Emperor's Children, which they're Chaos, they have pink. Or they can be pink depending on how you want to paint them. They're like purpley pink, but I feel like there's some actual like chapters out there with pink being their main. Okay, that counts. That fully counts. I'm sure I could look up like pink. Oh, it does count. And you know what's one I did see, and it's a fan made chapter, is the Maid Marines. someone did mention like the main Marines in my chat before, and they are like white and pink, like their main stuff is pink. I've not looked into them before, but I remember seeing them like before I got into Warhammer. I remember seeing them around and thought it was a very funny concept. I am thinking when I get back from my trip, I will do a community day special stream, and it'd just be like for people in the Discord and stuff to like watch and view. So for people that enjoy my content and want to see in the future, join the Discord. It's completely free. It is a space for crafters in general to come and share their stuff, or people just to share their hobbies. But I think what I'll do is I'll make like a private one and be like, oh, you can only join through like, you can only join it through this link. And that will be the, like you just click on it and that will take you to that stream and it'll stay as like a little private stream for that. And it won't be like a painting stream that day. I think it'll be like a gaming stream I do. Because there are like a few games I am enjoying. Are you talking about the Maid Marines? Are they called the Pretty Marines? The one game I've been playing a little bit more recently, I've got back into, is called Path of Titans. It's like a dinosaur simulator game. I've been having fun with that, so I can do that one for a community day stream. At least I'm thinking I will. Oh, nope. The chapter itself is real, or are you saying the Pretty Marines are different and they're like an official canon chapter? Yeah, I thought they were homebrew as well. That's why I wanted like the clarification. I heard that the creator's like making a detachment for them, has made the detachment for them, that if you want to run them, you use that. It's not official and all that stuff, so it'd have to be like talked about, but I think that's cool. And I'm trying to think what else. This goddamn brush. I have no idea what that scheme looks like. If you like that scheme and that's one you want to do, go for it. I try not to weigh in too much on people's paint schemes and what they want to do and stuff. If it's something you like and you're happy with, then go with it. Their main scheme is blue. I like blue in general as schemes, if it wasn't already obvious. But I know it can be a very easy one to do. set that guy there. This brush. I mean, you like doing Thousand Suns. They're a blue army. Oh, well, yeah, that is a lot of blue you'd have to paint if you are doing Ultramarines. I think it'd be good to try something different. Try a different scheme. See how it turns out for you. Come on. No, you can fit in where... There you go. That's where I want you to fit. And then you will sit right there. That's why I have different armies and stuff like that, to try different schemes eventually. I say that, and my plan is to paint blue at least on some of them to begin with. Like, I want to paint Valhallans. And for my Tyranids, their main body is blue. My Space Marines are blue. Give this a good little shake. I will paint that guy on the corner there, eventually pink, but while his glue dries, I'm going to do the orange and see how well it turns out. I'm kind of glad I switched up the playlist. I like this one a lot more than the last one. Not that I dislike the last one either. Oh my lord, that is so nice. It's dark and doesn't pop as much as the that guy there. But that is such a nice color of orange. Is it dark? Yes. But I will be doing that a lot more in the future now. Especially once it dries, it'll be better. Will I admit, this is brighter, yes. Especially if I get into the proper light. I like that orange. I'm sure if I went with a brighter pink or something, or even a yellow. Oh, I might actually grab my yellow contrast paint real quick and see what it looks like on that. We are actually going to do that right now. I'm going to test it with two different kinds because I have Imperial Fist and I have Iveden Yellow. I'm going to do the Iveden first. This one, once I have it shaken up, is more of an orangey yellow, but it is a yellow. I actually initially got these to do the eye lenses of my Marines. There's only one spot I really can test it, and it's here. Did that just give me a more orangey orange than what I had before? That is Cheeto Dust Orange. Oh, that's funny. That's funny to me. Okay, now we're going to clean the brush again, and then we're going to go with the Imperial Fist Yellow and see what it looks like on the other side. It is way more of an orangey red. I do agree. Especially with the pink on it, it looks more red than it looks orange. Even compared to like this one that has nothing on it. Yeah, even on the camera, this one's more, that's more orange than the pink. Wow. That's fascinating. That's actually really cool. And then I want to test the Imperial Fist on. What I am going to do eventually is I'm going to put on acrylic paint. Even if I fail the challenge, I'm going to still put acrylic paint on these. Not just speed paints. So that will look orange by the end for me. But that is so cool. I actually like that. I like doing these little experiments on stream. So now we're going to take this Imperial Fist Yellow. I'm going to throw it on this spot here and see what it does. There's a lot, I know, on that brush. My thoughts on Tau. Okay. I have two separate lines of thoughts with Tau. Lore-wise, I think they're cool. I like their model range. I think they're all really cool. Not the color meant for bananas. Hey, it is okay. I want to test out this anyways and see what happens. This is all an experiment to be like, what kind of orange do I really want? That's freaking crazy for me though. I think Tower lore-wise cool. I understand why people disliked them in the beginning and all that stuff and all that. I really like their models. If I could, I would steal some of their models and throw it into my stuff. At this point, we don't play with Warhammer, we play with fruit. Sure we do. Well, while that dries, I feel like I just made like a Crimson Fist red with that orange. That's honestly, I'm looking at the shoulder pad and knee and I'm like, that looks like Crimson Fist red. Okay. So, like I said, lore-wise, model stuff, I like them. I don't think I'll ever do a Tau army, but I would definitely, if I had the opportunity to, take some Tau bits and throw it into my army. Now, to play against them, okay. The Tau were fun to play against. With that being said, it was one of the hardest losses I have ever taken in my life. I've heard about the Tau railguns before and all that stuff. They are terrifying to go against. I did go against them with more tanks than I probably should have. I should have had more I should have had more little unit guys than these big tanks. But I wanted something to be able to deal with his tanks as well. And it did bite me. I lost one tank straight off the bat. Lost another one really quickly. But it did make the story for my Dreadnought Big Jim. So that's where I sit with Tau. Okay. So we got a light orange, an orange, and a reddish orange from all that. I'm going to bring it up a bit closer for you guys. So, that's Imperial Fist. That is Iden yellow. And then we got Nuclear Sunset is the red. Understand? This is the Spellbound Fuchsia pink as the base color to make it all look like this. Because I have the paint already in the cup, I want to keep using that orange. Yeah, I do agree. Out of all the yellows, this is the one that looks the best. But because I have this already in the cap, and I don't want to waste it, I'm going to keep using that one. And then I will definitely have to throw some acrylic on to make that better. Oh god, if I have time, I will go over all the orange I did on these guys, and then hit it with that proper orange that I want. Not saying for tonight, but I'm just saying as a general at some point in the future. You're saying, fun fact, Magnus? Yes, I did know about that. That is a fact I did know. I learned that initially from like Izander and Coda. From their videos. I haven't watched their stuff in a while, but I think they're really good if you're new to Warhammer. They're a great place to go and start and get a broad stroke look at how... They're a broad stroke to look at all the different factions. Yeah, you're saying Tzeentch was causing the mutations. Yeah, it was him causing the mutations overall, so he wanted Magnus's eye as part of the deal. But he started mutating them again until they eventually joined him. Yeah, that's just Tzeentchy stuff. Tzeentch was being a complete, like, dick and all that to them, and causing their problems to work his master plan so he could take over them and have them as his army. That shows like Tzeentch's scheminess and all that stuff. I never want to be a follower of Tzeentch and all that. It is not a fun time. Okay. It is going to be a I don't know if I fully agree with that statement. I don't know if I'd call Tzeentch the best Chaos God out of all of them. There are... Honestly, I think Tzeentch is like the one at the bottom of the list for me that I would willingly choose to follow. And that's the thing, like Tzeentch, he wouldn't make you be willingly. I mean, yes, you would go willingly, but you wouldn't know he's trying to get you. Number one for me is Khorne. I feel like out of all of them, I'd rather do Khorne, just because his base stuff makes sense. Self-improvement, you know, being fair, being honest. That's all stuff that I look for in general as a person. But then I would probably fall to like Nurgle or Slaanesh next. I say Nurgle just because of my personality. Like, I can be very lethargic, very unmotivated, just stay where I'm at. And I need to be better, I need to do change. Slaanesh I would fall for because in general, excess and perfection. I always want to try and like get better and better and keep improving. So that's where I would kind of fall for Slaanesh. Like, also being like a person that likes doing art and painting and all that stuff, I feel like you can fall to Slaanesh pretty easily. Okay. That will dry. Now I have to go get the pink and... yeah, I gotta do the red as well for all that. But again, that is like my opinion on which one I think is the best or which one you could kind of fall for. There can always be better ones or worse ones to go for. Now again, that statement is if my arm is twisted, and that's like my arm's twisted and I had to choose to pick one or the other, that's my list. If I really had to choose, no, I'm sticking with the Emperor of Mankind. The Emperor of Mankind is where I'm staying, and I will not fall to chaos. I was actually watching some videos today from, I will get his name. Dystopian Chimp, I believe is the channel name. I'm going off of memory. I'd have to look it up. He's got a couple videos out that I enjoyed. Pretty much from the perspective like how certain worlds are. So the one that I like the most out of it is how a feudal world actually is. So it like he starts describing how a generic feudal world is from the perspective of like a serf or someone like at the bottom and beginning of that. And then like he goes and explains like, you know, there are some different kinds with some different level of technology. Some are like the medieval style that don't have that technology besides like maybe the knights here and there. But then there's some that have like, they do have some technology, but they live in that feudal state of having like kings and lords and stuff like that. So like, I think he has a statement saying all night worlds are feudal worlds, but not all feudal worlds are night worlds. Which I'm like, that makes a whole bunch of sense. And then he's got one that explains like what a civilized world is, which I'm like, that makes a lot of sense, and why there are so many civilized worlds in the Imperium, but they're not all, by the true definition, civilized. Which I'm like, that makes so much sense. I love that. And it honestly helped me, like, lore wise in my head on planning out my chapter's lore, or if I want to do a crusade, like what the difference is between all of them. Actually, the first one I watched from him was explaining the trials that some chapter aspirants take to become a space marine, and like the difficulties of it and all that. So again, it starts with you as one of those aspirants, and it does end with you dying, but like explaining like, oh, you started this many, you're now doing this task, you're being judged by like the chaplains or the higher ups doing this and that. And then he goes in like later after that explaining like there are different like kinds of um like challenges. It's not just like, oh, you got to get this thing. It's not just one way of doing it. There's somewhere it's like, oh, you are going to fight a space marine battle brother, and like that is your challenge at like for some chapters is like you got to fight that um space marine. And then some are like Fenris where you have to go and hunt a certain creature. I know with Fenris you got to bring back like a tooth for a game that the higher ups are playing, and if you bring back that tooth, like it acts as a certain piece. And he's like, yeah, some of them do it, and they'll have you fight like native creatures on this planet, or it could be like an alien race, and you gotta do this like as a adolescent human child with nothing, like no special upgrades yet, none of that stuff. Only after you pass these trials is when you start getting these like implants and stuff. So I was like, that it was really nice for like lore wise for me in the future to be like, cool, I have this information, I now know what I can kind of write and plan out in the future for other stories and stuff that I want to do. Because there are some short stories I do want to write for my chapter, especially like while this crusade's going on. There's a couple like short stories I want to do from this, like, oh, my intercessor squad during one of the games, and like how Big Jim like did something really cool and awesome, and explain that, and then also explain like maybe the failing of one character in one scene, and then this epic thing of another character. So it helps with like getting some setting stuff, I guess I would say, filled out. And especially helps me lore wise for really just more for the chapter, because I want to add. I do want to like explain from the ground up what my chapter does for different, like for their aspirants, for their customs and all that stuff. Because I've decided like there's two ways they get aspirants for the chapter. They get some within the Hive City, and they get some with from outside the Hive City. I'm debating if they also, because most chapters recruit from the homeworld that they're from. That's where they get their aspirants from. If they're a fleet-based one, like the Kakaradons, they can do something like the Red Tide or like the Gray Tide and get supplies that way. For like, they help certain people, now you gotta pay for helping out these, or for like us helping you. So I was like, do I want to also do something like that for this chapter, or do I want to have it so like every once in a while we do come back to this planet, but like if we're on a long crusade and we always can't get all the people we need, maybe we got to pull from where we are and take what they have, depending on, you know, if we're by like a death world or a bunch of hive cities and stuff like that. Probably not, because that would ruin the culture of my chapter. Like, it'd be a really mixed, diluted culture. Because, again, I want it to be like a... They're from this one planet. They all got a bunch of dinosaur stuff. That would change. So, maybe not. And this is just me talking out loud, like, kind of weirdly planning it here and now. I am always open to suggestions if people have suggestions on stuff. I definitely want to make a mutated Battle Brother at some point. That is on my list. I want to get some parts from the Seraphon and kit bash them with probably some intercessors and make some mutated Battle Brothers. I think that would be cool. That would be really cool. I'll probably do that. I will do a video with that the same day when I finish like all the unique characters for my chapter. Yes. You talking about the tropical bases like for the model, like a sand with palm trees and stuff like that? Or you mean like a tropical as in like, I don't know, building or something like that? I'm not fully sure. I'm just trying to like get clarification there. I feel like it'd be kind of hard to do a tropical base. At least I'm thinking about how to do it. Like, you'd have to just... A lot of it would just be sand. And it would look very deserty. You'd have to add very specific plants here and there. I think that'd be better for, like, a diorama than a base. Like, if you were to make a diorama, then that's where I would do it. Yeah, I've seen people do UV cured resin for water and all that. What did I do for the description of this video? Sorry, I was just changing some stuff around. Not not that I dislike the title Warhammer and Chill. I'm just gonna change it to actually what I was doing and description stuff. Especially on the Squidmar Warlord Titan diorama. That had a lot of... I've not seen that diorama. Where was that posted? It had a Loyalist in Chaos Warlord Titan fighting. It's on the playlist on Squidmar channel. Okay. I guess I'll have to check that out. Here we go. Oh. The playlist is based around making of dioramas and revealing, and the reserved Tau with red skin and blue armor. Oh, reverse Tau with red skin and blue armor. That's kind of cool. That's a cool like scheme idea. Oh, so last night when I was playing Warhammer, or in my Warhammer game, I met someone that actually like helps out with some of the PAX events. He said he's going to PAX Unplug in Philadelphia, and he was telling me about how they do like their model their D&D like model or just model in general section when they have like a painting competition piece. And I showed him the piece that I did for an art competition a while ago, and he actually said I did really good on it and that it looked really good. And that made me feel really nice that I had someone that's actually like a part of that like look at it and kind of like tell me their thoughts on it. So I was happy. Really great guy. He is a League of Votann player, and it was my first time ever playing against the Votann before. And all I gotta say is he had metal pretty much, I guess, how do I want to say this? He had a unit that is, I would consider like a Beyblade or a Blender unit. The full unit could do 36 attacks in one go. It mowed down today. I think it mowed down 3 units I have. Wait a minute. No. What's up, club? Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? I'm just gonna go over here and take a look. Going? It was fun. It was a fun game at the end of the day. It honestly went like this. I did the same mission in that Crusade one I did against the Tau player, and it ended just the same way, which a little disheartening. I'm like, okay, I'm back. I'm still where I was, but I had fun at the end of the way. Freaking watching out for lasers and these goddamn Beyblade models. Oh. So today I rolled for like the out of battle stuff as well. So like, because I had a lot of models got destroyed during that fight, and I didn't roll it last night, so I rolled it today at work. And my Chaplain and Terminator armor and my Deathwing Knights both failed that, and they now have a battle scar that I gotta figure out what they have. And what else got a battle scar? The Intercessors I had got a battle scar. I'm like, no! I think I have 4 things now in my list that have battle scars, and I need to decide what I spend on to remove some of them, or what I try to do. And it's gonna be tough. Oh, I can't play next week because I'm going on that trip. So I'll have to try and do a makeup game. I didn't want to do a makeup game. I wanted to play a game this week beforehand, so I didn't have to worry about it when I came back. I'll message the guy running the stuff tonight to be like, hey, as a heads up, like next week, I'm not around. If someone's looking to play a game like this weekend or something, I am interested. Like to do it either Thursday or Sunday, I guess would be my main day. Let's see. I think I got all that. So now we go to our orange that's just going to make everything look red. We'll deal with that after. That was almost to the wrong kind of paint. I will say the main thing that I have gone from this crusade is I've learned how to play Warhammer so much better. One, I've gotten way more games in than I usually do, so that's how I've been able to get better at playing and understanding the game more. But also, everyone I've played against has been really helpful and really nice to like talk me through the rules and just kind of get better at it. Something else I kind of do, and you don't have to do this with every opponent. I do this just because it helps me, and I think we both have more fun in the end. But I talk through my turn to be like, I understand once I say this out loud, this might screw me over, but I need to do this kind of process, at least, you know, make sure I'm doing the right move or not. I kind of tell them like, hey, this is what I'm thinking of doing. Like, what are some mistakes here that I can eventually make, like, and all that stuff. And my last opponent, the Votan one, actually helped me. And he's like, well, if you did this instead, then, like, you could do this and this. And I'm like, that's a much better idea than what I was initially thinking. Like, thank you. That is such a better idea, which I'm glad it worked out. Because what it was is I have an 8-man squad. So I have a captain, Bladeguard Ancient, and Bladeguard Ancients. A 6-man squad of Bladeguard Ancients. We're all in a Land Raider. And my opponent's Warlord came up from my back line and tried to destroy the Land Raider. So I decided, hey, I'm going to make the Land Raider fall back, use it as a wall. This was my opponent's idea, so. And then make it so I had a 3-inch charge into my opponent's Warlord and all that stuff. And I wiped out that whole unit. I actually need to spend a requisition point. That Bladeguard unit is now at 30 EXP. No, it's 6 Bladeguard vets, 1 ancient, and a captain with a relic shield in that unit. So it's 10 models and not 10, it's 8 models in total. And the Bladeguard unit now is at 30 EXP. I think they got a little bit more over because they got marked for greatness for taking out the Warlord and stuff. So I need to spend a requisition point to give them the legendary veteran, I believe. There's a way in Crusade where if you spend a requisition point, you can make it so that they can go up to, like, the next couple ranks that only characters usually get. Which I'm going to do because I'm like, they just hit 30. They have the most amount of EXP compared to any of my other guys in my army. I really want to get my captain, though, to 30. I want to get him over 30 really bad. Because there is a weapon in the Dark Angels book that I want him to have so bad. It's slightly better than his current weapon. I do say slightly. I did give his weapon from the previous game Brutal, which adds 1 to the strength characteristic. And I added Precise to the weapon as well. So it's a very hard-hitting weapon now. Oh, the timing. The timing about you saying you did a Votan army and all that stuff. Because I was just talking about them. Really, I feel like you're going to be the guy I played against last night. Because I did tell that guy my channel name and all that stuff. And if it is you, thank you again for the game. If not, I hope you get to play some games soon with some people and all that stuff. So, let me continue what I was doing. I'm probably going to switch to the black and do all the trim stuff here, there, and there. And also hit their guns in the black. No, I wasn't talking about you. Ah, okay. Oh, hey, no, I got 2 Scotsmans here. And I wasn't talking about you, Manchester. I was talking about Club. Good. Wait a minute. Yeah, I was right. We do got 2 people from Scotland here. So, I hope you're enjoying your nightclub, and that you are having a good week so far. You know what? I need to clean off this. Oh no. Yeah, it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning for you guys. But I hope everyone is doing well tonight in general. If you're new and just kind of curious what I'm doing, I started a while ago okay. How do I want to explain this? I'm gonna play this cruise. Okay, wow, my words are escaping me so much. Why am I failing at this? English is not my first language. A while ago, I wanted to give myself a challenge on trying to do 1,000 points within 20 days. And I wanted to use this army against my friend that also has 1,000 points in Chaos. More specifically, he's running Black Legion. I'm running my Custom Space Marine chapter. And I want to try painting these guys within 20 days. I don't think I'll make the 20-day deadline. It has been quite a while since I've last worked on this army. But I am happy to be back here working on it again. Technically, last time I did this, I was on day 5. But I added more days because some of the models that are in this list, I worked on for a Crusade army that I'm doing on my local game store. Which is what I've talked about here and there with like the League of Votann and some of the games that I have going on. So, yeah, that's the context for people that are interesting and all that really want to care. We do have a slight challenge here that if we get to 500 subscribers within these 20 days, I'm adding a knight model to this army. And the reason why I'm adding a knight model, or why I want to, is because my friend has Abaddon in his army, and it would be a good counter. Currently, my list does match point-wise for his list as well. And the only other units I have to go against Abaddon are these snipers with Precise and a Gladiator Lancer to be able to do enough strength to shoot Abaddon and hopefully take him out. But if we hit that and then I'm like, oh cool, I can add a model to the a knight to the army, I think we'll have a much better chance. Do I think we'll get it in the time frame? No. But that's also why, like, I've not made every stream be working on this army to try and give me a little bit more leeway so that if I did hit it, it would work out really nicely. But it all depends. I'm not worried either way. For those that were here a couple Saturdays ago, I did a game on Tabletop Sim against that friend. And I used that same army. The only thing that we changed is I added the lion in. And he added like another 300 and something points to his army. A lot of it was just cultists and more chosen. I think he should have added something as hard hitting as mine. Like my stuff. We didn't finish that game. Maybe we will in the future. Maybe we'll restart with something different. I just had an idea. At some point, I want to do a community day stream. Just be for the people in the Discord. I do have a Discord. It's completely free to join. All that stuff. It's just a place you can talk about Warhammer or regular crafting, hobby stuff, whether it be woodworking, metalworking, cosplay, all that, or even talk about book lore in general. I love hearing what other people say about Warhammer lore. Anyway. I want to do a community day stream for just them. And there's a game I want to play. I want to play Dispatch at some point. Really soon. I've never played a Telltale game before. And that one looks like a lot of fun to do. If anyone has actually played that game, let me know how it is. I have spoiled it for myself a little bit, but spoiling it for me just makes me want to play it more now. Because I want to, play through those scenes and hopefully make better choices. I will have to mark these places down for whenever I visit the UK. I definitely want to visit the Warhammer store that's in Nottingham, I believe. Warhammer World, it's its name. But I'd love to go up to Scotland and check out a few places up there. So I will have to put those places on my radar whenever I go and visit. Okay. Is he... He's set with that. If you find the assassin, the huge... What? Oh, Lord, no. Don't give me a challenge like that. I'll be honest. Okay. I have more questions. Is it any assassin model that they've ever produced? Or is it just the ones they have available? Because I have 2 out of the 3 or 4 assassins that are out right now. I have the sniper guy, and I have the lady that you can drop down and pull back up. Ah, darn. Because I would have... I've heard of it, and I've seen it a little bit. I would grab the one that's the assassin with the... Yes. Yes, those are the ones I have. I was going to say the one that I would want is the sniper guy that's in a statue with the barrel pointing out. That's the one that I would ask for. But I know that one was a special made one. I gotta look up what that one looks like in just a moment. At some point I do want to do, because I have so many different armies I want to play. Because I have like Tyranids, I have Custodes, I have Guard. Yeah, those are the ones I have 1,000 points of. But I also want to do, like Imperial Agents at some point, because I have their book. So I've collected a few models from their range. Ah, yes, that is the one I don't have. Eventually, I do want to do more armies. I was going to say, that was just for 40k that I have for, like, army stuff. I mean, I do have a Space Wolf box. I don't know if I'll ever play, like, Space Wolves directly. I'll have to look through their book and see how their stuff runs, and if I ever decide it's something I want to do or not. But for Age of Sigmar, I have the Seraphon Spearhead box, the one that had the, like, Tyrannosaurus Rex model in it. And that's an army I want to build and make bigger. And I'm debating if I get into Age of Sigmar, what's another army I would do. If it was up to me, I would do 4 armies as well, but I don't think I should. I'm tempted to do a Chaos army for Age of Sigmar, because I do have a unique I want to try Age of Sigmar at some point, but I just haven't. Just 40k has been more my interest than anything else, because I'm not usually a sci-fi fan, but something about all this lore and models that they have, like, going on here has just pulled me into it. I think I would try Age of Sigmar if I wasn't into 40k, like get into it more that way. I like the guys in gold. I can't remember their name. No, I've not played Trench Crusade, and I do want to. I want to try Trench Crusade at some point. I have some 3D models that I want to use in a Trench Crusade game. Not like official, oh, these are like the Trench Crusade models, but they're just like some random 3D printed ones that are like, I think they're supposed to be Deathcore Creek models, or that look. Okay, anywhere that I'm missing on this guy? Oh, I did miss a spot to paint good old orange. It's so red on the camera. It is a rusty red in person, and it looks so much more red on the camera. Oh, that's good. I did see they came out with some plastic models. I think what I'll do, and I'm just throwing this so far just out there in general. Oh, I forgot his gun on the back. I gotta do that. I want to get a bunch of 3D printed bits for my guard army. And I think I want to make it so my guard army can work in Trench Crusade. And also work in 40k if I so choose. Because I saw some like 3D printed bits that are like, oh, these would be good for like just general either cultists, or you got a special kind of like guard army that might be a little more tribal and stuff like that. So I'm like, this could be interesting to try. I will say, if I had to go and do a 5th army for 40k, I'm a little bit on the fence of 2 of them. I want to do a Necron one because I like some of the Necron models. I might just keep it in Kill Team because I have at least two Kill Teams for that. The other one I want to do, just because I have Guard and I have Tyranids, I want to do a Genestealer cult army a little bit. It's just because like I have all these extra bits. I think I might just do it, get some like 3D printed bits, and take all these extra bits I have, and just make this homebrew Genestealer cult army. Or maybe I'll treat it more as a kill team. Oh, that's nice. I've just realized how expensive, like, Warhammer really is. I do like Warhammer. I feel like I want to be brand loyal, but I don't want to spend so much money right now, like, on more Warhammer stuff. So I just kind of, like, want to find some fun, cheap ways of doing it. Because I have a lot of bits. I'm going to get more Tyranid bits as I, like, build those guys and stuff, so I think it'd be easy to do Genestealers that way. There is... So, at my local, or at my closest mini store, like model store and all that stuff, there are 2 knight models for sale that are both $100. They're fully painted and built. And I'm like, they're just... that's cheaper than buying them from the box and building it yourself. Because it's now like... Is it 170? Or I think it's 190 to buy knight models now. And I bought my first one back when it was like 150 or something like that. Maybe it was 170. And that's the one not built yet. But I'm like, I want to buy one of them. If I can, I'll buy both. But I want to buy one of them. And I know which one I want. And I think if I do buy it, I will get a box of the 2 smaller knights as well. So I'll have a small knights army, I guess. That will be my 5th one, I guess I'll have. How does that work? I've heard about Combat Patrol magazine before. Do they just send you like some, like, do they send you like one model at a time, or how does that work? okay. How much is the subscription? That's going to be my first question. Because that's going to be my first concern. Is it a... It's probably a high subscription to begin with. It's only like $10 a month? That's not bad. I'm realizing as I paint some parts black, I'm like, oh, should I do it black or should I leave it the way it is so I could do it as green instead? Yeah, $40 a month for 4 issues. I'll probably still skip on it for now, but that's not terrible at all if you just like you can slowly get models and stuff that way to build armies and all that. But it is something I'll pass on because I don't... I'm not saying it's a terrible price thing. I'm just saying for me right now, in my current state, I don't want to spend $40 a month on that. I want to be a little bit smarter with my money. Oh, did the music finish? I think it's the first time I've ever fully played through some music. No, that's not the first time. I love this first song. You don't think it's a US thing? Okay. That would make sense. That would make sense, it being a UK exclusive. Okay, okay. I realize I still have a model sitting in some, like, cleaning solution. And I need to pull out tonight and give a scrub to. And wash. It's been in there for, like, 4 days. The model shouldn't be destroyed at all. But definitely the paint should come off. What do the Hearthguard look like? Are they a bunch of robot dudes that you could have with blasters, or could you give them swords as well? Because I wonder if the Hearthguard is what I faced last night. Bulky dwarves. Okay. Nah, what I'm thinking of is like these were like robot characters that can be led by a dwarf, but they weren't bulky. Yes, they have sword arms if they choose, and like a pistol, or you can equip them with like some laser weapons. Either way, whatever weapon loadout you equip them with, they do 36 attacks. That's all I remember was the amount of attacks going at me. I know I'm saying that very loud and very aggressive. It's a lot to deal with. I'm like, I'll be honest, I am sad my Terminator squad got mowed by them. Steel Guard, yeah. Yeah, it was Steel Guard. He did really well, I will admit. I could have done things... I could have placed things a little bit better. I would almost say that's like their Centurions. It could be their Terminators, but... Yeah. He had... It was his, like, most highest EX... Like, in the Crusade, they had the most EXP. So they were, like, a really tough army to deal with to begin with. Cool. So that is set. Now, I need to do... is get my speed paint for the leathers and start doing all that. There we go. Nope, that's same paint, just older bottle. Want to use the older one first. I do love Deathwing Knights. I'm sad that I can't make it be a 10-man squad. They have to be a 5-man squad. This is going to be extremely dark because it's just going straight on black. But any little bit of gray that is there will make it pop. Deathwing Knights don't have any shooting attacks. They're just straight melee. Which is tough because, like, they need to be in a piece of equipment that can transport them to, like, they can transport them really fast through the battlefield. Or when they deep strike, it's going to be in a spot that they can get to really quick and easy. So... I do love the unit. I want to use them more. Good night, Jake. And I figured you're always there. You might not be the menace all the time, but you're always there watching. I think I gotta like look at the thing. They can like subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of attacks for the Deathwing Knights because like they carry a shield and their power weapons are extremely tough. You can equip them with a power sword, which is their power weapon. Or you can equip them with a mace and be really good against monsters and vehicles. I'm thinking the next time I run them, I'm going to throw them in my Land Raider. I'll have to figure out, like... how I play it. They definitely need to go in a Land Raider to get where they need to be and do like their attacking and stuff like that. I do want to make my chapter master of my army wear that version of Dreadnought armor. Like, again, this is a captain in Terminator armor, but this is not going to be my chapter master for my army. I'm trying to make my captain with the relic shield become chapter master so that I can then build him a custom unique model. Oh, I say custom unique. It's really just going to be this model with a shield and maybe like a few other things on it. And then that's going to be my chapter master for my army. And then he's going to have a Terminator variant, which is, yeah. I will admit, regular Terminators are probably more useful. I don't really care if they're useful or not. I like the model and I'm bringing them for me. It's a cool, I think it's a cool model and it's something that I want to use. And that's how I look at the games that I play. It's less about what does really well and how effective everything is, and more of, am I having fun with this army? Or will I have fun if I use this particular unit? And if the answer is yes, or I like the look of it, then I use it. Are you talking about assault terminators? That that's the Phobos version, the assault terminator ones. I guess technically that is what that Dreadnought is. They're not as fast, but I guess they would be classified as an assault terminator. No, just Terminators in general. They wear Phobos Dreadnought armor. Huh. I've never heard anything about that. Okay, you are set. But I'm just sad right now. They have a battle scar and I gotta do something to get rid of it. Either I gotta spend the requisition or I gotta find some way of giving them or just getting a battle scar that's not that bad on them temporarily and build up the requisition. The hard part is because they have an upgrade on them, they cost more to remove a battle scar. So there's not like, it's awesome that they get upgrades and stuff like that, but the more they have on them, when they do get a battle scar, the harder it is to remove it, and it's just a little frustrating. It's also more frustrating because it was the very first time that unit ever gets to be used in this crusade, and that's what happens to them. So I was like, ah. But it just means next time I gotta play things a little bit differently. I could probably remove them and the chaplain Like I could spend an RP, put the chaplain in a dreadnought, bring in a brutalis dreadnought, and have that in the crusade, and then have more room to add more stuff and bring in something different. But I'm like, you know what? I need some Dark Angel models in my army. It can't be just Inner Circle as my only thing. I need some other ones, so I will make the Terminators work. I'll play it like game by game on like where the dreadnoughts sit and all that stuff. Like if they go in the Land Raider or if they do Deep Strike. Okay, that was quick for all the brown. Oh no, there is more brown on the below parts right here. It blends in with everything. Okay, I can do the metallics next, and I think I will. Just what do I want to do for metallics? I have a couple. Metallics I do use. I use cobalt metal for just their trims and stuff on their armor. Again, I did turn it pretty dark looking. I might actually pull out the grays instead. I do got the cobalt metal here. It will be quick, but I think I'm gonna pull out some other paints. Corn red and dragon red. And I'm going to want Wraithbone as well at some point. I could use it. I could use this. I got this gold that I've never used before. It's a more brassy color. Not really the one I like using. I should use it. There we go. I'm pulling out like all the other paints I want to eventually use. So gold for some of the metallics, plate metal for the steel parts, or actually use gunmetal instead. And I'll take this drawer out. What is my darkest gray I have? Cool. I got deep gray. And I will use uniform gray for my stuff. Oh, and I do have another gray. I have ash gray as well. We'll keep that all in mind for all this stuff. So many choices. So many choices. But what I want to do... I do want to work on their bottom bases, but all that stuff. Good night, Manchester. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Hopefully you get some sleep. I think... I'll use Greedy Gold. It's the next one that I'm going to probably use the most of. I open it and it just starts spewing out the bottle. Get that cleaned off and then I'll go from there. Need to be careful wherever I touch on this model because I don't want to get any gold where I don't want it to be gold. I know this is supposed to be a stealth unit, and adding gold to stuff does not really make it stealthy, but at the same time, they're Space Marines? I feel like Space Marines would have a really easy time of hiding their metallic armor bits and shiny stuff. I will say it's been a hell of a year for me from start to finish. I've moved out of 2 apartments in just this year. Yeah, this is like the 3rd one I've had to move into. And God, my personal life has been a little bit upside down, I will say, on some parts. I don't want to get too much into it. I've said it beforehand there. Well, yeah, personal life has been upside down, and then just dealing with... I don't want to say I've had like a mental health issue, because it doesn't feel like that. It's just when you become an adult and there's certain points in your life where it's like, am I behind? Am I not behind on stuff? You're like, ah. So I was going through like one of those moments of like, how behind do I really feel? Am I actually like behind, or am I just moving at my own pace? Which everyone is moving at their own pace. That's what it boiled down to. It's like everyone moves at their own pace. Like with anything you do, you're not going to be perfect right off the bat. Yeah. The first time I moved, I had to put everything in a... Luckily, I put everything in a Connex in a spot that I could store it, and I'm not paying for storage and all that stuff. So that's a big positive. But all my stuff that I would normally put into a place I'm living is in storage. But it's had to teach me, like, hey, you can't just like expand and live in a place thinking it's going to be permanent forever. I mean, definitely sucks because I kind of liked living where I was in the first one. I liked the location of the second place a little bit more, but the house was a lot older. I like where I'm currently living a lot more. Location's nice. The apartment's really nice. Yeah, that's also a good way of looking at it. Just chasing happiness. I had to decide this year of I've been very jealous of one friend my entire life because he's been able to have some opportunities that I've not been able to do, and he almost lives like the life I wish I could, or that I wish I was living. But I have to keep in mind, like, he worked for it, and like he was given opportunities to do this stuff, and that's fine. What was more important? Was my ego more important, or was having him as a friend more important? And I chose my friendship with him was more important than my ego. So I've had to learn to put my ego to the side and, you know, just be happy for him and be all that. And, like, you know, just be happy that I can be a part of some of this cool stuff that they're doing. And, you know, where I want to be and all that stuff in life. And I will say, this channel did start last year. When did I start uploading? Hold on. I'm going on a little side tangent. Because I started with videos. And then I just decided to stream one day. So I'm going to scroll down to, like, my homepage. Okay, I know I gotta go to videos. When did I start? Wow, I haven't even been doing this for 11 months? That's the first video. Okay, what about shorts? Oh, come on. There you go. Now the connection's better. Okay. I had been doing this for over a year. Wow, the in-between of just doing some of these things. Freaking crazy. Now, streaming in general, I've been doing... Yeah, this August is when I've been doing it. Sorry, I have to, like, sit back and, like, review some of these things I've done. And, like, how far myself I've come in some of these projects I've done. Like, when I first started painting, like, over a year ago now, I did not think I'd get to the current skill level that I'm at now. This is very mediocre work that I'm doing right now. This is not my best work. But if I did put my full, like, heart and back into a piece, it looks really good. There's, every once in a while, I'm like, oh, wow, I get a piece that looks really good, and I'm really happy the way it turns out. And it's like how I want to do every piece. But then I gotta think back on how much work goes into it. Am I done with the gold? I thought there was some bullet casing somewhere on one of these guys' feet. Yeah, there it is. Oh, that's funny. He's got bullet casings, but he's using a las fuel weapon. Huh. Tell me how that works out. I always end up putting more paint down than I initially end up using, but oh well, it's just one of those things. Okay, next metallic paint I will use. I saw it here. Ah, it's right in front of me. Sometimes I actually get like, I'm not blind, but it's just like I don't realize something's in front of me until it's like a little, not too late, but it just takes me way longer than I realize. It's kind of like vision blindness. Not, is it vision blindness? It's like selective blindness, I guess. You just realize, like, you can't see a thing even though it's right in front of your face, but all I'm taking now is some cobalt metal, and I'm going to be doing all the trim on the Space Marine. So yeah, the pauldron trim. I know codex compliant chapters, they usually tell what company they're from by the color of the color on the edge of the pauldrons. Mine are not like that. I've decided that this part on the kneecap is going to decide what chapter, or not what chapter, what company they're from. And it's not based on color. It's based on how many stripes it has. So this side would have 5 stripes and this side will have 5 stripes. That means they're a part of 10th Company. They are a part of the Scout Company and all that. The only one in my army that actually has some paint that's different from the rest is 1st Company. And 1st Company is black and blue. I chose to do black and blue actually a while ago because I initially wanted to do a homebrew Dark Angels army that I found online, and their color scheme was black with blue trim. They had some silver here and there, but all their like parts that were like metallic and all that, like the Aquila, were blue. I decided to make that silver, and that's also kind of where it developed with these guys. So I decided I'm going to take that idea and throw it into my Marines, because I didn't want to really, I didn't want to repaint some of the models I had that I like worked really hard on. So I'm glad I was like, you know what, I can at least incorporate it and make it a lore thing instead. And I'm really happy I did. Yeah, we'll do it as a also the cobalt color. Not that I should. It should be an actual silver metallic, but I'm going to do it that way. I like cobalt because it's a bluish silver color. It doesn't always come through as bluish silver, but I think when I add a blue wash on it, it takes it very well on the metallic parts. So it definitely makes me like it a lot more. No, I've done all of them now. That was really quick, and I knew it was going to be quick. Now I have all that color that I can't even use. Well, that's just one of those things. Talking about colors. Yeah, let's start throwing on some of this gray. Let me actually give this a good shake. Sometimes I don't shake the paint, sometimes I do. I really need to remember to shake it so it actually does mix together correctly. I should be doing this with a brush that I'd be okay using as a semi-dry brush. I think I have a few that are getting to that point. This Citadel one will work. This is the annoying part. If I ever not redo these guys, but if I ever build another set of these guys, I'm painting these guys separate from their base. I'm either not adding this stuff onto their base, or I'm going to repaint it, or I'm going to paint it separately. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm going to paint it separately. At least try and do some paint in there. Cool. Now my next one, it's going to be this uniform gray. Yeah, screw it, we won't. Cool. That'll work. is going to be not so easy, huh? Oh, come on. I hope everyone that's still here is enjoying themselves and they are enjoying the stream so far. I am enjoying it. It's definitely getting a little bit later. It's gonna be, it's way too much paint. As much as I want to use it, that's too much. Bring it up a little bit closer for you guys to see. It's probably not perfect. Did I decide that this was actually kind of like better for you guys in the future? I think so. Oh yeah, you can still see it, and then the light's better here. So it's hard to see, but I went with that initial dark gray and all the crevices, and then I tried to dry brush other grays on and just covering less and less. And this final one, which was a mixture of ash gray and uniform gray, I just mixed my two ones together and just used it hopefully on the wingtips and kind of stippled it. Really less of a dry brush and just like stippling it like that, and then dry brushing to try and blend it. Oh, shoot. You know what else I gotta do that to? I gotta do that to where their feet are and everything. Oh, yay. I forgot about that. I was so focused on one part, I forgot about the rest of it. And then I just gotta do the rest as well. I want to make a big statue that looks like this little alcove guy in here at some point. I want to figure out how to do that, either like with modeling clay or foam and stuff like that. I really like this look on pillars and stuff. I don't want to add too much gray because for my bases, I'm picturing that they're all on my chapter's homeworld, and the majority color of that soil is a very ashy black, just like black sand and stuff like that. There is like gray and other brown, the variations there, but it really is just like a black sandy soil is where these guys are mostly where I'm picturing. I mean, the idea was like also to set up and paint them gray and make them look like this gray base as well. Which I can do. I should do that with all of them, because that was my plan eventually to do with every single one, was have this, like, gray look. Because what I think about is from Walking with Dinosaurs, when they did the Cretaceous scene with the T-Rexes and stuff, and it was filmed in New Zealand, and you got that black, like, gray soil that all the dinosaurs are running on. That's what I picture their homeworld, like, ground kind of looking like. So not a lot in, like, coverage that way, but it's got a very dark look to it. Yeah, that works. And the worst I do is I put a little wash or something down on it, or paint it black after I have it, all this stuff on it, like a very watered down black. Could do that. Could do that. Okay, let's mix these two together to hopefully give me back the gray that I did have as an in-between. Yay, I got that gray. Just a little dry brushing. I'm kind of okay at this point if I make any mistakes because it just looks more natural. When you... I don't do terrain very often, but I feel like if I am doing terrain, any sort of mistakes that I do make in the painting and dry brushing phases are going to add to the authenticity of the piece of work. Because in nature, nothing is completely uniformed, colored, natural looking, all that. It's messy, mismatched. It's not all one color. You could even say that's the case with some models that get painted. Like, things shouldn't look uniform or clean. Sometimes they do. But I feel like with terrain, no. They're not meant to be clean and... I guess that's that. As much as I can do a little bit more to get them finished, I'm probably going to call it here for the night. I hope everyone here enjoyed. If you do enjoy the content here, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. But you don't have to. Just, you don't have to. You're your own person. If you also want to support the channel and have things grow and upgrade, help the channel grow and upgrade, you can donate to a Ko-fi account I have. It's in the description, but you don't have to do that. Just having you here watching and being part of the community is more than enough. If you also want to be a part of the community, I do have a Discord that is completely free to join. It is in the description. We share our Warhammer models, but it's more than just a Warhammer channel, or more than just a Warhammer Discord. We do other crafting stuff in there as well. We can talk about cosplay. We got some people that do woodworking in there. When I start doing my metalworking stuff again, I'll start posting that stuff in there. It's just a crafting hobby space in general for you to share your interest and have a bunch of the people look at it. But you don't have to join as well. That's completely up to you. With that all being said, I want you to go out there and make something awesome. I know